watching SKST Radio.
Well, welcome to another episode of SKST Radio One-on-One Entertainment with Cammie Grayson and my new friend, Leonardo Fuica.
Yeah, you had it. You got it. Leonardo Fuica.
Well, how are you doing, Leonardo?
I'm doing very good. A lot of promo for our movie camping trip. So it's been, let's say, 2 weeks of a lot of interviews here and there. But it's an aspect of making movies, the promo that you have to understand and going through it.
Nice. Okay, so how did you get started in the film business?
Oh my God, very good question. I'm so happy that you asked that question. I started at a very young age in primary school, in first or second grade. I started making I wrote my first, how do I say, play. It was about, when you're waiting in lines in cafeterias and schools and all the things that happens there. So yeah, I did this play. I wrote it. I did it in front of my class, in front of 3 classes, and then in front of the whole school. And somebody came out of me, one of the teachers, and said, "Hey, you would be good to make auditions." And I say, "What's an audition? I didn't know. What's that?" When you're a kid, you don't know. And they told us, "Yeah, you just take this paper, you read, and you personate this character." I said, "Okay, cool." And I started there, and from there, I started landing contracts, one after the other one, mostly in French here in Montreal, until there was a time that my parents couldn't, manage anymore, went to get an agent. And yeah, from that time, I started making movies at a really, really young age. I did 2 mega, I don't know, I think in the US you call it maybe A-listers or B-listers, I think. I did 2 very big series here in Montreal, Canada, called The Two Brothers and Tag, about the gangsters. And since from there, I started making just movies and making movies and making movies.
Oh, so Wrong Turn. Tell me about that. How did you come up with that one?
Pardon?
Wrong Turn. Wrong Turn.
How could I say this? I mean, it depends. I mean, I think when you're an actor, the most important thing is knowing different languages, first of all, because you have to understand that there's 4 big markets in the world. First, you have Mandarin, the Chinese. Then you have Bollywood with Punjabi. Then you have Hollywood, of course, Hollywood, the English. And then you have Spanish. And yeah, I always loved all those kinds of, stories, a little bit weirdish, that I could say. And yeah, it just came out like that, and it happened with the Wrong Turn.
Wow, that's so cool. So tell us about the movie that's getting ready to come out now.
Oh my God, okay. So this is a really incredible story. I was in California, in Los Angeles, and when the 12th March 2020 arrived and changed the world for everybody. Okay, and I was working on this project about Paul River Williams. I don't know if you know Paul River Williams. It was a very good project. Paul River Williams is a Black architect from California, and he almost did a bunker of Hitler. So I was working on that project until the 12th March came, and they pulled the plug out. So from there, I had to look for other work, and I still remember the first 4 or 5 days of after the 12th March. It was completely bananas. When I say bananas, you're going to the store, and there was nothing in the store. I still remember coming out of the car, and there was this woman yelling out at me, "Buy me $100 of food here and there." And I was like, okay, there's something insane going on here. And yeah, so that's where all the inspiration of camping trip came. So I said, okay, so let's start to do research and see what COVID is going to touch, So I started doing research in the beginning. I went to look about the relationships, about people. Unfortunately, COVID It touched a lot of relationships
Yeah.
that people had in secret and nobody knew. And when COVID arrived, there's a lot of things that happened here and there.
Mhm.
Breakups,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
things. Money. Oh my God, that this COVID showed up that we ever are need money. So
Hoarders.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's another aspect that I went to research when I did my script and writing. And the other aspect that I went to look at is the criminal world. I mean, like it or not, but the criminal world had to change during those COVID times here and there. So
Mhm.
those are all the aspects that I research in order to make and write a camping trip. And in April 2020, at the end of April 2020, I wrote Camping Trip. And in August 2020, we
Mhm.
shot it.
Nice, nice. So, was it hard to shoot it during COVID with all the different
Oh,
obstacles?
it's important to remember that people, when they're going to see the movie, uh, that they had to think that it was in 2020. So there was all these restrictions that we had. So yes, it was
Mhm.
pretty hard. I'll give you a perfect example. We had to separate all the cast from the crew. So the cast was living in a house that I had to rent for the cast, and the crew, we rented this hotel, this completely hotel just for them. And we had to, I don't know if people remember, but we had to take temperatures of people every morning, ask them if they had any symptoms and stuff like that. So it was pretty hard. The other thing that I would say was all the guidelines of the unions, like
Mhm.
ACTRA and others. I'll give you a perfect example. Uh, we couldn't have more than 15 minutes in the entire shoot, of kissing. So all those scenes that we had to kiss here and there, we had to do it in a lapse of 15 minutes. In the
Oh
entire, yeah, because
wow.
those were the guidelines at those times.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty incredible. And also I would say, don't forget that we had an actress, Caitlin Cameron, that she's
Mhm.
from the UK. So we had to fly her in. So all those paper procedures that we had to do, during the first waves was something pretty crazy. Not like Alex Ravenstein, that he's an American, but he was already in Canada
Mhm.
during
Okay,
that
good.
time.
Now, so was it like a big budget or a little budget?
This was a I don't know, it was I would say it was a micro budget. I would say
Like,
it's a 350K movie. 350K movie. So yeah, it's don't forget that during those times we had to respect the guidelines too. So when I wrote the script, I had to wrote in functions of money aspect too, because you cannot write something too big that you're not going to be able to shoot during those times.
mhm.
So we had to adapt and make with the price that we have. And I think another thing that it's important when you're making movies is always, when you write and when you're having these budget, always think of what you have now. Like Robert Rodriguez says,
Mhm.
and a lot of my big mentors that I like, Christopher Nolan to Spielberg, to whatever, you have to write with what you have. So that's another aspect that came in the budget of the movie.
So you have some big news about the festival. Tell us about that.
Yes, hey, we have primary top one news for you guys on Cammy's show. So we just have Camping Trip has just been selected. This is going to be our last festival, and it's just been selected at the Flickr Rhode Island International Film Festival in the US next week. It's a very big festival. It qualifies for Oscars, for BAFTA, and for Canadian Academy Awards projects. So next week
Congratulations.
it's going to be there. If you're in the region of Providence, go check it out. We're semi-finalists in the COVID section.
Nice, nice. Well, you know what? That is so cool that you guys got all this going on. And so, what's the next project for you?
Now currently we have a short project called an action movie, a short action movie called The Little Devil and the Big Demon, that is currently in a festival route. We have been to LA at Crimes and Horror Festivals where we won a Best Editing, and we're going to be at Austin's Action Market Film Festival in September. So
Nice.
those are the projects that we're doing now, and we're preparing. As you can see, I have my beard now. I was doing a project, but COVID came into play. One of my actors had COVID, and then another crew member. So we're postponing it to maybe later in October or something like that. We'll see how it goes. It's a drama thriller movie that we're making, and yeah, it's a. I just want to make movies for the U.S. In English. That's always been my dream. I know I've started in French, but this is my first English project, and it's
Mhm.
not going to be my last one.
Well, the good, because I mean, this movie was so good that I really sit back and I enjoyed it. And it's like, okay, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? You know, it's one of those. You know, are they gonna get caught? You know, what? And the bad guys were really bad, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like, oh my gosh, you know. And so I think the audience is really going to enjoy it. And so tell people how they can see the movie.
Okay, yeah. So it's currently now. You can pre-order it now on iTunes in the US, in Australia, and in the UK and in Ireland for the moment. But then after that, we're going to be in 100 platforms the 16th of August. So from Amazon Prime to Google Play to Hulu, Vudu, Dish, uh, Time Warner's Cable. We have such a list of streaming companies. I mean, that's what's it's cool about. And don't forget that this is a new era that I would say also our distribution, Gravitas Venture. We
Hmm.
were talking about that, and yeah, I mean, COVID showed us that it's much more of a streaming planet today now that
Yes,
theaters. I think
absolutely.
theaters, it's much more for big blockbusters movies, but most movies like this, you're going to see them, it's only going to come out in streaming platforms like Amazon or Netflix or Crave or all these kinds of streaming companies that we have now. So yeah, we're going to be in 100 platforms from the 16th, but you can pre-order it now live on iTunes. You can follow us on Fuica Films Pictures on Facebook or Instagram, and you have the link on it there where you can go rent it.
Okay, guys, you can always come back to my page. You can also go to YouTube and find his trailer, and so that way you can see what I've seen already. You know, it's out there. It's a great movie. It's couples, it's bad guys, it's COVID, it's professors, it's it's all kinds of good material. Camping Trip is the movie to see, and Leonardo. Thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. You've been wonderful, Kemi. Thank you
And
very
you
much, and go
too.
see my
And you.
movie.
I will. I will. Everybody go see his movie. Until next week, right here, SKST Radio. Bye bye, Leonardo. Let me know if you
Bye
need me to
bye.
help you with anything. All righty. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye bye.